Have you ever felt like you were doing all the right things? Like you're reading the books, going to therapy, you're journaling, you're meditating, you're working on your mindset. However, your life only changes in slow motion, and if at all. It feels like you're stuck in this endless loop of healing and fixing, but the breakthroughs never seem to stick. And I get it. I was there too. And I've watched so many people spend years and sometimes decades trying to change their lives with, traditional personal development, only to end up in exhaustion, frustrated, but still searching for that missing piece. Or worse off, like feeling more ashamed or feeling more guilt because it doesn't seem to be working. But then I discovered something that changed everything for me and so many of my clients. And it's called identity frequency mapping, or what I sometimes call activations. And the reason it works so fast is because it doesn't change your thoughts or habits. Yes, it does, but not just that, but it goes straight to the source. It changes your electromagnetic signature and your nervous system patterns, the 95% of what actually creates your reality. And you see, most personal development is like rearranging the furniture in the house with a cracked foundation. Okay? Yes, you can change your habits, you can change your routines, your affirmations, but if your core frequency is still broadcasting the same old patterns, nothing really changes, or it changes very, very slow. Because you're trying to override years of subconscious programming with a few minutes of willpower. That is like trying to stop a moving train. Like, good luck. I want to show you what the trap is. The trap is the more you look for things to fix, the more you reinforce the belief that you are broken. So you get stuck in this hamster wheel of healing, always searching for the next thing to work on, never feeling whole. Well, identity frequency mapping flips this on its head. We start from the truth that you are already whole. You are already infinite. You are complete. You are oneness. The work isn't to fix you, but it's to clear the distortion patterns that make you forget your wholeness. Okay? And this is not, don't get me wrong, this is not about becoming someone new, but it's about remembering who you've always been. You are already abundance, love, power, creativity, health. The only thing in the way is the distortion. Old stories, generational beliefs, survival responses, which has been covering up your true frequency. And when you clear those distortions, your natural gifts and potential effortlessly emerge. Like shine finally shining through clouds. The wildest part is that you know you're capable of so much more. But you know that there's something invisible that's keeping you limited. That something is distortion in your electromagnetic field. Unconscious programming, family patterns, nervous system habits. And so identity frequency mapping reveals and clears these blocks at the root. Because when the distortion is gone, your potential comes back online fast. Not in years, but in weeks, sometimes days. And it's all about remembering coming home to yourself. And the most craziest shift happens when you stop trying to fix yourself and start remembering your infinite nature. Facts. When you clear the static and come home to your true frequency, which is source energy, infinite consciousness, divine consciousness, the universe itself, well, your external reality has no choice but to reflect that. You start broadcasting from your authentic frequency and life improves rapidly. Because what? You're aligned with who you really were. You're literally back into full alignment with who you really are. And this sounds too good to be true, but instead of just taking my word for it, I want you to see what this looks like in real life, okay? Ashley, one of my clients, is someone who's tried everything. Therapy, meditation, gut health, naturopaths, self-help, you name it. And she was stuck in this endless cycle of healing. Always searching for the next thing to fix, always feeling like she was almost there but never quite free. She was exhausted from trying to fix herself, always feeling like she was one step away from finally being healed. But when she experienced identity frequency mapping, when we did her first activation, everything changed, not just a little bit, but not just a temporary high. I'm talking about a complete cellular level shift in her identity, her energy, and ultimately her life. So, as you watch Ashley's story play, pay attention to how real this transformation is. Not how she describes the difference between trying to fix herself, and I want you to notice that, how she describes the difference between trying to fix herself and actually coming home to who she really is. And notice how fast things shifted for her once she stopped working on the surface and started working at the frequency level. And as you listen, I want you to ask yourself, what would happen if If I stopped trying to fix myself and started clearing the distortion that's been blocking my natural wholeness? I want you to ask that while you listen to it, okay? What would your life look like if you remembered who you really are at the deepest level? Because Ashley's story isn't just her story, but it's a mirror for what's possible for you too. So, let's dive in. Here's Ashley sharing her raw, honest, and inspiring journey with identity frequency mapping. And if you feel that spark of possibility as you watch, just know you can experience this too. Ashley, who was the old Ash before you made the decision to work with me? What was she like?
Okay. Old Ash was, she just didn't feel safe. And she definitely did not love herself unconditionally. So the love that I had for myself was very much conditional. And I placed a lot of that love on appearance. And I used control to feel safe, sorry. And I did that through food. I did that through exercise. I did that through relationships, sport. And yeah, I mean, I don't have to dive into like where it all came from, but a lot of this did come from primary school. And just not feeling safe in primary school. And just because I was bullied. Here you go. Say hello. So yeah, and I just realized that my whole entire life I just controlled. Because I was fearful, because I worried and I was stressed that people wouldn't like me, that I wasn't good enough, or pretty enough. Yeah, and I could never really be present with that discomfort. And I was very much someone who suppressed a lot. So I never expressed. I was really good at not expressing.
Mhm.
But all of those emotions that I experienced were forever suppressed. And, I didn't realize I was doing this until like I met you and until the activations. And I only thought really I had only a couple of things to change, but it was I had to fully have a resurrection to change, like, and to realize, like, wow, this is what I've been doing my entire life. Like, no wonder why my meditations weren't work. Like, I wasn't changing my personality.
Well, what kind of meditations were you doing before we started working together, and why do you feel like what was the missing link and piece?
So I was doing a lot of, the missing piece was I was trying to force again, and that was coming from control.
Kind of forced the meditation?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
forcing the meditation.
What did that look like?
It looked like trying to force the body to relax instead of allowing the body to move. So, which I didn't realize.
Mhm.
So I had this belief that the meditation was supposed to be this beautiful, relaxing, drifting off, um, in outer space type stuff. But for me, I mean, it might be different for everyone, but when I was relaxed, that's when my body moved the most.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, I didn't allow it to move the energy. Um, I don't know whether that was because I didn't feel safe enough or whether I had a belief that I had to be relaxed. So when my body did move or when my breath started to like, sometimes I would kind of like hyperventilate, I would try and relax that. So I would go like instead of relaxing into what the body was doing, I was
Mm.
trying to control the body. Um and yeah, that's obviously like, I've just been this control freak my whole life. So but yeah, I also had the belief that that's how meditation should be.
Mm.
And I had a belief that it should happen in meditation, which is probably why the resurrection didn't happen in meditation.
Mm.
Um, yeah, but I was doing tuning into new potentials. I had done the generous present moment. Um, I had done tuning into the heart. I had done all, like, to be honest, I had done all sorts of his meditations and nothing really, I might have had a little bit of, nothing just really clicked. I just didn't really get what I was doing
Hmm.
until I came on to you. And like in the beginning, I remember so much had moved, as you know, just from doing the generous present moment. And yeah, I had a lot of body movement and jerking and shaking then.
I
But
remember the first week, like literally just a week of us working together, you sent me a voice message and you
yes,
were saying that you had a healing.
I did.
Yeah,
I
talk to
did
us
for
about
sure.
that. What happened?
So I was doing just the go to love meditation. And after that go to love meditation, I was relaxed in that. There was no movement or anything like that. But my subconscious was like, you need to do the generous present moment. So I went with it. I was like, okay, then. So I did the generous present moment and I had a lot of, I had a lot of body movements, shaking, just nothing like this resurrection, but
Some
it
healing.
was, yeah, it was a healing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I messaged you because I was like, what the hell just happened? Like, of course I've heard of people. Yeah, like when you listen to testimonies, of course you hear that, but it hadn't really happened for me yet. And actually, after that, I did feel quite sick. And you had told me that that can happen as well. Yeah, so that was within the first week. But after that, I then, like, when I started to go into trying to like tune into new potentials, that's when control stepped back in.
Mm.
And so there was like a couple of weeks there where it was kind of happening, but it wasn't. And then it was, and then I would go back into old habits again. And I wasn't really distinguishing the difference. So, like, when I had released something, my mind would obviously echo the old identity. And then I would like fall back in to that,
That's
not
normal.
realizing that I had already moved that. And I could
Mm.
just easily say, okay, well, I'm not that person anymore. And that would be enough. Whereas I
That's
would,
wild.
yeah, so I
That's the
would
first
like,
time I'm hearing that. So basically, like even though you have this mystical experience that healed you, there's still a part like your old self will still not give up fighting and will still try to pull you back even after that miraculous healing.
correct. Yeah. And
Wow,
I just thought I hadn't done enough. Like,
that's nuts.
but that's another belief. Like, I
Yeah.
never felt like I was like, there's just all these beliefs that have come up. Just all these different beliefs have come up now, but I have allowed it to come up. And
Mm,
instead of getting drawn into it, I'm now
mm.
more of the witness, if that
Got
makes
it, got
sense.
it.
So,
Okay, so let's explain to the audience what you did differently because at the beginning, the old self came up and then what did you do? Like you let yourself become that, go back to the old self or something?
I think I just didn't really understand it. I just didn't really like understand that if it didn't have an emotional charge, I didn't
Mm,
have to go back into that story.
got it.
So, and I was going back into that story, and I think that's what was keeping me stuck.
Even
Because
if it didn't have an emotional charge.
yep, even if it didn't
Okay,
have an emotional charge,
got it,
and
got it.
then it would come back up.
Yep.
So, because obviously I'm like, yeah, like I'm
Still giving it
feeding that.
attention.
Yeah, I'm still giving it attention,
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
I just didn't realize, but I also
Mm,
didn't realize that's what I was doing
mm,
until I did.
hmm.
So, and again, like that's just because, like, when I was quite unwell, like I would keep myself unwell
Mm,
because I was listening to
wow.
the mind.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
and I just didn't, yeah, I mean, look, everyone's journey is so different, but
Mm,
it was really hard for me to let go of control
mm.
because I thought I had to understand everything for it to work.
That's it, right? The
Yeah.
mind just wants to understand,
Yeah.
even if you have like miraculous healing. Like, what did I release? How did
Yeah.
I do that? And
And honestly,
sneaky.
after this resurrection as
Yeah.
well, it was so extreme that I can't go back.
Mm. Cool, cool.
um, But yeah, like I still will have moments where I'm like, I just need to understand this. And then I catch
Yeah.
myself going, okay, I see you. Like I'll catch myself and it's like, I see you. Like I
Mm.
see you wanting
So
to
this is what you do
understand
now.
everything. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you see it and then
And then I just let it go.
mm. So instead of trying to understand it, you just like, see ya.
Yeah, so I will just like if it doesn't have an emotional charge and it's just mind chatter, I just will, whisper to myself, okay, that's just the old identity echoing,
Mm.
and I don't need to resurrect what's no longer me.
Got
And
it.
I just go
Mm.
and go about my day.
Wow.
But if it has an emotional charge, then I will sit there and I will I will, yeah, I will let it
Allow yourself to
allow
pass.
myself, I will allow the body to
Yeah.
let the energy move. And
Wow.
honestly, the movements have been very extreme. But I mean, I've done this my whole life, and like the movements are extreme because now I'm just so open,
Mm.
allowing it to move. Like,
Absolutely.
whereas before I wouldn't.
Mm, mm. And honestly, that's alchemy. That's alchemy. Like you're turning these survival emotions into something else. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And we're never
yes,
gonna like survival emotions are there to protect us. And I
absolutely.
feel like people think that by doing this work, we are getting rid of survival emotions completely. No, that's
Yes,
where if that happens, we are disengaging from the actual human experience to actually be
absolutely.
experience these emotions. So
Yeah,
this is great. This is like
yeah,
pure alchemy at its
yeah,
finest. So that's
yeah.
the meditation aspect. When we started doing the activations, how was that experience? Like, what would you share about that?
Well, the activations were amazing. I like all of them. All of them are just so good. I Yeah, like for so long I've just believed like I just haven't had any self-love, and I thought I did, but I just put so much of that self-love in appearance. And I can see sometimes like my old self try and slip into that. Um and there's no issue in taking care of yourself. Like that's not what it's about, but I was using certain things to control that. Because I had like to go back when I was in primary school, I like was bullied, and my mum, like it's not my mum's fault of course, but my mum would always say, oh, it's just because like you're beautiful, hun, like, and they're just jealous. And so I've held on to that okay, well, for me to feel safe I need to stay beautiful.
Mhm.
I need to stay, like achieving this, this identity, and like, and not age, which is
Mm.
silly. But yeah, so anyway, what I'm saying is like the self-love activation actually enabled me to see that. Um, I really found the activations probably the most helpful for me. Yeah, if I'm honest. Um, because yeah, like you just have these beliefs. Oh my gosh,
Until
like
they're in front of your face.
until they're in front of your face. And
Yeah.
like you said to me, like that um your like your body and your mind will show you what's stopping you from creating the
Exactly.
life that you want. And I in the beginning didn't listen to that. Like I didn't
Okay.
really, yeah. So like obviously in the first week I did, but then after
Yeah.
that I just went back into control.
Mm.
Because it was like it's the unknown, right?
Of course, of course. And no one wants to look at themselves or like look at the shit that's actually in the way of their creation.
Yeah.
That's why these activations, when she's saying activations, it's the identity frequency mapping. And so
Yeah.
this work is not for sissies, let's just say that.
Oh my gosh, it is not. Like I will be honest, it's been a roller coaster.
Mm.
And it's not for the lighthearted, that's for sure. Like it's hard coming to like coming to, you know, face yourself
Your
really.
programs,
Yeah, your
literally your
programs.
limitations.
Yeah, like your limitations, not realizing that they are, and when they're in your face, it's uncomfortable. Like it's yeah, it's not easy. I think it helped me realize like what I was doing. I know like sometimes it's easier for people to just kind of like, oh, go, oh yeah, that's not me. Like, but it did in a way help me to go, okay, well, this is why, like, this is what's happening. Like you're controlling through this. Because then if it did come up, I was like, oh, that's not me. Like it was just, yeah. So it was easier for me once I realized what I was doing.
Mm.
Of course, you have to realize what you're doing though
Of
to then
course.
to then
To change it.
yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
So all these behaviors and all these beliefs, all these like thoughts, emotions, even physical sensations, as I've told you, have come up, and yeah, it was difficult for me not to dive into the story that my mind was telling me. But that's what I had to do. I had to let go for my body to do what it needed to do so it could move the energy. And I think once I did that, that's when that resurrection happened. And there is a part of me, like after the resurrection, that did say, I just can't do this because it had been so extreme. But I did challenge it and I said, bring it all up. And it brought it all up. Like it
All
brought
right,
the
let's
emotions.
save that for the end, but I want to go back to like when these programs are in front of your face, right? And I think we scared off a little bit of the audience by saying like we are facing ourselves, but in order to transform your life, you need to actually go through these patterns. So
Yes.
when you were in the let's call it the fire with your programs and whatnot, the limitations, how did you handle that, and how did you handle that? Because it's confronting to actually have your programs right in front of your face. What did you do?
Well, I messaged you. I messaged you just to, because I feel like sometimes when those things come up, doubt comes up, but that's an
Absolutely.
old program as well.
Mm.
When I removed myself from the story that my mind was telling me, so my mind's doing me a favor by telling me that, okay, something's going on. And so I didn't fight the mind
I love that.
because originally I would like, so say if like fear was coming up and my mind was chatting about whatever was in, or like say let's say anger. So if anger and frustration, so my bubby boy would be crying and I couldn't settle him and I was getting frustrated and angry. So instead of diving into the story that was present in front of me, like I would take a back seat, be the witness, and allow the anger and frustration to move, because really the mind was just showing me in that moment that there's still anger and frustration that needs to be moved through. And so I think it really helped me to say, I'm just witnessing this isn't like, and not, yeah, and just not diving into that story. And so but also
Not
allowing,
identifying with that limitation, basically.
yeah,
Like
not
that's not me.
identifying. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's not me. And so I would sit down and just say, it's okay for me to feel this anger and frustration and allow it to move through.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, but in the beginning, like probably like in the middle, I probably wasn't doing that as well. And I think that's why I was kind of going back and forth. But now I think, well, now I know. Now
Of
I know.
course. Now you're a master.
There's no thinking. Like I just know. So, but it does take like intention and will
Of course.
to sit there with it, because
Yep.
if you've been doing it your whole entire life, like it is uncomfortable. And I remember you saying to me, listen to your body, because I remember saying to you, I just feel like I need to cry, and you're like, well, let yourself cry. And I'm like, what, really? Like, but I didn't realize, like, I
Yeah.
just, because for so long, like I had suppressed that way of like releasing,
Exactly.
because I was trying to be strong.
Like big girls
And
don't cry.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
and I've probably been doing that for a really long time, since primary school. I actually remember in primary school, my mum, because like I was bullied, um, my mum would say, "We'll pull you out of school," and I would say, "No, no, no, no. I'm fine. I've got this. Like,
Mm.
and I would just never cry, like, because I told
Mm.
mum I had it. So,
Wow.
and yeah, it's just so it like, and I didn't have to go digging. That just
No,
comes up naturally. So,
exactly.
and I think that in the beginning I was kind of just like there were parts of me that would just like be like, oh, okay, let it
Mm.
go. But then there was parts of me that really wanted to understand and dive into
Mm.
it. And it would just keep the story looping and
Exactly. And this is
um
why I hate personal development, because they put us in a cycle of healing. Oh my God, I've healed this. Let me look for more things to heal about myself. And I love how you say you don't have to dig for it. It just comes up.
it just comes you do when you're open and present, you do not have to dig for it. It just comes
Boom.
literally up in
Hmm.
your face. Like
Yep.
life will show you where you're holding on to something.
Yep.
And when it does, and when you have that emotional charge, all you have to do is, if you need to sit down, that's fine. But all you have to do is just let it go. Like let your body do what it needs to do and trust it. Because I also like was at that stage where I just like in the beginning I was like, I don't trust this. Like this is but it's the unknown. Like
Of course.
you've never done this before. So
Yeah.
I think giving yourself grace for not like because you're learning how to do this.
Exactly.
Like, and I think in the beginning, like I have always been a perfectionist. So I think if I didn't get it right, then I was like, okay, I've stuffed it.
Mm.
Whereas like when you're communicating to the field, like it's an ongoing thing. Whereas
Absolutely.
I thought it was like a one shot, that's it. But it's not. Like,
Exactly.
so yeah, so and obviously everyone's programs are so different.
Exactly.
But yeah, it always comes down
Mm.
back to control and fear
Mm.
and those kind of stress hormones. But you're
Mm.
right in saying that also, like, I was getting to the point where I was like, oh, perfect. Like, I'll never have to experience this again by letting it
Hmm.
move. But
Hmm.
that's not it either.
Yeah.
It's being comfortable with the uncomfortable. It's being able to
Exactly.
witness
Yep.
those stress hormones because, like you said, like we're humans and it's
Hmm.
okay to feel those things,
Hmm.
but just allowing them to move through you, not being scared of them.
And you made a good point, because at the beginning, I'm teaching you how to trust your body, to trust your heart. You know what I mean? But we've been so conditioned to trust our mind, which is only 5% of who we are. So it is scary. It's like my whole life. Even
Absolutely.
society has told me to trust my mind, but it's a record of the past. And so
Yeah.
trying to trust your body at the beginning, it is foreign and it can be quite scary, especially when your heart is leading you to somewhere where that it feels like it's an inconvenience.
I'm at that place now
Mm.
where, yeah, I'm at that place where I
You're a
trust
master. You're a
trust
master.
myself and I trust the universe. And
Yeah,
some days are harder than others, but that's okay
of
as
course.
well.
Yeah.
Like you just give yourself grace, you do the
Mm.
best that you can. Um, and that's it. Like,
Mm.
yeah, but sometimes it take and I think as well I had this belief that, healing was instant if you nailed it in meditation.
Mm.
And yeah, that's not the case for everyone, and that's
Yes,
okay as well. Because
exactly.
I think when you look at testimonials, they don't go into the nitty-gritty of the
The journey
transition.
before.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
journey before, and you just see like it's like Instagram, you just see the
Yeah,
highlights, right? So,
exactly.
yeah, so I just had this like I was preconditioned to believe that,
Mm.
healing's instantaneous and if it doesn't happen for you, well, it's not going to happen. And
Yeah,
that's not true either. And sometimes it might take you a bit longer, sometimes it might
so
happen
be it.
for you,
Yeah.
yeah, straight away. And yeah. And it also depends on where you've
Mm.
come from as well. And
Mhm.
yeah, so just giving yourself the time and grace and
Love that. Love that. All right. Before we get to the resurrection, just when we did our first identity frequency mapping, the activation, what did you experience during it? Because I feel like people are curious about what it is I do specifically. Um, how was your experience the first activation that we did?
well, when you actually allow your body to receive the activation, to like embody that activation, which in the beginning I would and then I wouldn't, I would and then I wouldn't, but that's what I was doing in meditation. So now I allow my body to do whatever it needs to. And so for me, sometimes it would be, I would be really relaxed and I would just be drifting, like, you know, when I wasn't trying to control or trying to fully listen to the activation, just being in my body, like my body would vibrate or my hands would shake sometimes, or they would grip. Um, and obviously in the beginning I was trying to understand everything. But yeah, so now I know just to let my body do whatever it needs to. And so yeah, so when you're experiencing an activation, like your body could be doing anything really, like, and you're just safe in that moment to allow it to. Um but yeah, like with the receiving one, like I also believed that I would never be able to receive. So it changes your beliefs, and once you change your when you're in an activation and it questions your beliefs, like you either feel tightness or you'll feel an expansion in your chest, or yeah, just like small little vibrations, and it's just your body starting to embody like new beliefs
Instantly,
around
right?
instantly around those
Yeah.
things, because at the beginning I didn't believe that it could just be instant,
Mm.
whereas now I know.
Mhm.
Yeah, as soon as
Love it.
when you get out of the way,
Mm.
it can just happen for you.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Love it. Wonderful. So, who is Ashley now? What happened?
um so yeah, obviously had that belief that everything had to happen in meditation. As soon as I let go of that belief, I was sitting on the lounge and I could feel my body just wanting to move. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to relax into this and let it do its thing. And it was insane. It was insane. And I was like, like, and obviously your mind is going back and forth, being like, oh my God, what is going on? This is unsafe. And I was just like, you're safe. You're safe here
What
in
was
this
happening?
moment. I felt like I was on the lounge and my body was like it was extending,
Wow.
and my legs were like hanging off the lounge. I like my arms like went out like I was on a cross, and
Whoa.
and I felt like the old identity like literally leave my body from like feet up to my head, like literally like up. And it was like, it wasn't just once, it was like a constant. And it was, my arms were stretched, everything was stretched. And I was like, oh my God, I'm literally resurrecting like bloody Jesus. Like
But
it
you
was like,
knew?
I knew. It was like, I
Wow.
knew. It was just like, this is just a resurrection, and I'm just going to let
Mm.
it do what it needs to. And it happened at the right time because I was
Mm.
ready. I was open enough and present enough and more of the witness for it to actually move, for it to actually
Mm.
happen. Whereas before,
Wow.
if it happened, I
Yeah.
probably would have just, if it happened in that week,
Mm.
I would have just went back to the old self because I wasn't really,
That's wild.
yeah, like I wasn't really understanding
Mm.
understanding it. And now I'm just like, oh, my body just literally resurrected. Like,
Damn.
and
Interesting.
yeah, and now I'm like, this resurrection has occurred. So like when the old identity, like the echo of, because your mind still echoes. It's not like
Mm.
you have a resurrection and then your mind stops. Like, like your mind still kind of like tries to come
Mm.
in a little bit and go, what about this? Or what about
While you're
that?
having the resurrection.
No, well, yes,
Yeah.
while I'm having it, but also after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
That's
during
never
the
going to go away.
resurrection, hey,
The mind is never going to go away because we need it to survive.
correct. Correct. And it's just about having a different relationship with your mind. I
Exactly.
think like trying to control the mind, it's just not going to work.
No.
Trying to shut the mind up, it's not going
Mm.
to work. Trying to make the mind beautiful and blissful all the time, that's not what it's about either. So, and yeah, I think if you don't get yourself a coach, then it's very easy to think that that's what it's about.
Yeah.
So So it's good that I came
Yeah.
across you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. All right, so
um,
back to you're having a resurrection, but your mind is still like talking
yeah,
shit. Holy
like
shit!
still talking, going like, this is dangerous. Stop. This is
Whoa,
dangerous. Like, and I was
it's
just like,
cheeky.
and I would just be like, it's so, you know, like I would gently whisper to it and say, it's safe, it's okay, let your body do what it needs to.
Nice.
And it would keep going. And when I would do that, like more energy would move. And I was roaring. Like I was like
Like
honestly,
literal, right? Literal roaring. Let them know what was happening. Yeah.
literally roaring, like
Screaming.
screaming. It was happening.
Like a big purge.
It was a huge, huge, huge purge. And I just kept telling myself this would not happen because obviously your mind tries to go, oh, you're faking this. Like, stop it. You know, come on. Like, this is
Oh man.
ridiculous. And so, you know, when it said that, I would just be like, well, you know, this wouldn't be happening if I wasn't present, you know, if I wasn't the witness right now. Like,
Mm,
I'm allowing my body to do exactly what it's wanted to do for so long.
mm.
And so, yeah, I had a huge resurrection. But after that,
Yeah.
I feel like I had a couple of more resurrections.
Whoa. Interesting.
Yeah, and that, yeah, like, and it was just like all this energy just kept, you know, I'd be walking my son down the beach and like, you know, my mind would be going on about something like as an echo of the
Mm,
old self, and then I would just be like, I'd just pay no mind to it. I'd be like, okay, thank you, mind, because I don't want to
mm,
fight with
mm,
it. So
mm,
acknowledging it, noticing it, and
mm,
then, you know, I would just say, well, I don't resurrect what's no longer me. And
mm.
then like my hands would grip and it would be like, yes, like, and I'd be screaming out, yes, like
Really? Wow.
literally. And everyone's probably thinking like, what the hell is going on with this chick? But I was like, and like, you know, my mom would be like, how
Yeah.
embarrassing. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
you know what? This is who I am. Like I am the one who's arrived. And actually,
Damn.
I told you this in text. Like I still felt, I don't know, like this, you know, because my creation has happened because
Mm,
this is what it's about, right? The resurrection was the arrival. And
mm,
now I'm just living that life
mhm,
as my new self. So but there was a part of me that was still just waiting.
mm.
Like and I'm like
That's
and
a
I
big
did
program.
yeah, and I didn't know what like I'm like, what is waiting in this sense though? I'm like, what do you
Mm,
mean? What is
mhm.
waiting? And
Like you
I
asked
really
yourself that?
pardon?
Who did you ask? You asked yourself
Yeah,
what is waiting? Yeah, okay.
yeah. I asked myself,
Yeah.
and yeah, and kind of what came up was just that I was now, so now that I had the resurrection, it was so real
Mm,
that I was like, that's so real. Like I can't unfeel it. I can't unsee it. Like,
exactly.
and it got, and so, and then like a part of me was like, okay, well, where's my money?
I would be asking the same thing.
I'm like, what do you like, you know, what do you mean? Like,
I
I'm just like,
resurrected like Jesus. Where's my money?
yeah, like where is it? Like,
Yeah.
I've done everything right. I'm doing everything right. I'm letting energy move. I'm the witness. I'm, you know,
Mm,
so why hasn't it happened? And then, you know, I realized that the resurrection was the reward.
mm,
That's the reward, right? That
mhm.
living this life now is the reward. Like my old, you know, my new self, that's the arrival. And so reality now has to match me, my
Wow.
new identity. And so I
Powerful.
realized that, but I I was watching a movie, the Jurassic World, the new one, and at the time that I was thinking all of this, like the guy like just randomly like said to the woman on Jurassic World, said, "You do not wait." And
Mm,
then she, you know, she was like, haha, like kind of brushing it off. And he's like, no, I'm serious, do not wait. And in that moment, I was like, I'm like, that was meant for me.
mm,
Like, I know that that is not a coincidence. And I just smiled because I knew that was meant for me. And I was like, okay, this is because I obviously had that realization then that the resurrection was the reward. You're living it.
Mhm.
So, and then that happened, and I was like, wow, okay, like no longer waiting. And so whenever thoughts come up like about, okay, well, you still haven't received the money though, you haven't received it. So it obviously didn't work, because your mind still tries to pull you back in. And I would just like, I would command, like you gave me that command phrase, and I
Yeah.
was like, no, I do not wait. I said, reality bends to
Mhm.
meet me, to meet the person who is fulfilled, to
Yep.
meet the one who has arrived. And I would command it so that because I was kind of meeting it with love, like you said, but now I'm like, if it comes to that and the mind just keeps coming back a little bit, I'm like, no. I'm like,
You got to be firm.
yeah,
Yeah.
firm,
Mhm.
command it. It's okay. Like, it's not arguing with the mind. You obviously acknowledge that the mind's doing that. Thank you, mind, but cute, but no. Like,
That's power.
yeah, so just using a little bit of like sovereignty as well, like I think has been really like obviously, powerful for me
Mm.
because I was trying to meet it with love, and then I would kind of get drawn back into the mind a little bit, like, and now I'm just like, sorry, sister, that ain't me. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, and yeah, so that was that. And yeah, like I obviously told you about the butterfly as well. And obviously a butterfly has already become. So, and that was me. I've already become. There's nothing more for me to do. There's nothing more for me to heal, to fix, to change. I'm just living proof now. Whatever comes, well, it comes. Yeah. So
Back to wholeness, back to your
back to,
abundant state,
yeah. And that
back to who you
that
truly are.
state, yeah, well, that state is abundance, right? Because
Exactly.
you don't it doesn't whether it shows up or not, like you're still abundant.
Mm.
And like I've had a lot of physical sensations, and I always knew that was going to happen because obviously me being quite sick, and I did say let's bring it all up, and so it's all come up at once. And I mean, like, injuries from years ago have come up randomly.
So when you say bring it all up, what do you mean by that to the audience?
So I mean, anything, like any remnants that's left like in the body, let's bring it up.
Like
Like,
limitations.
yeah, limitations, old programs,
That's a
old,
warrior.
yeah, like old beliefs, whatever.
Mm.
Like I'm not trying to dive too much so into the story, but
Mm.
yeah, I trust my body enough and like my body's doing this because I can handle it. So my body wouldn't bring this stuff up if I couldn't handle it now,
Exactly.
which I know that now. Whereas before I was like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, like all this stuff is coming up. And obviously when you've come from a past where you have been sick, you have thoughts about, oh no, like I'm getting sick again, and you kind of do go into control, you go into panic, you go into urgency. And I would do that a lot with food, as you know, or supplements, and I was having strong reactions to those. But yeah, so I said that to myself, excuse me, like 2 days ago, excuse me. And I woke up with a sore shoulder. I woke up with a really sore back. I woke up with a headache, like really strong headache, a sore throat, a cold sore in my nose. And obviously the old self would be like, okay, what the hell have I eaten? What have I done? Like I need to avoid some foods. It would go into panic. My body feels safe enough to bring that up now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
I
I'm
love that.
meeting it with
Mm.
more of the witness and the consciousness, and just with
Yeah.
more presence than panic and fear.
Then old Ash.
Yeah, the old
Yeah,
Ash. Yeah.
absolutely.
So
Wow.
it is liberating once you get to that once you get to that side, because it does make it a lot easier to meet things like this now.
Absolutely.
But you do have to go through that, like that roller coaster. You do.
Exactly.
You have to go
Right.
through it. And it's yeah, it's a lot.
It's a
Yeah.
lot. That is definitely, you are the definition of the hero's journey
Yeah.
from
Thank you.
lacking self-love, from wanting to control everything, from having food sensitivities, issues, lack scarcity mindset, to now wanting to literally call up your limiting beliefs so you can face off with them. That is
Yeah.
courage. That is
Yeah.
courageous. Um, that is like literally the epitome of quantum leap, because you don't want to like just crawl of like, okay, let me handle like one by one. You're literally
Yes.
wanting them now because you want your life to change. And that's all my clients. All my clients are warriors. They are not sissies because they literally want to face off with themselves. And that is how your life is going to change. So kudos
Absolutely.
to you. This only happened two
Thank you.
days ago, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what unfolds moving forward as well, because I know that money is going to come. Like, there is no choice for it to come because you are embodying
Absolutely.
the new Ashley right now.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, like reality now has no choice. And I know
Exactly.
that you say that, but I have that knowing now. Like
Yes. And you
it's
have
not just
conviction. You can feel it.
yeah. Yeah, you literally can. You're just like because obviously your old self will obviously echo that the doubt and
Yeah.
things and I'm just like like
Mm.
reality has no goddamn choice. I'm the
Yeah.
goddamn butterfly.
Damn.
So yeah, and I think once you pass that you can meet yourself like that.
Exactly.
And it's not you arguing with it, it's not you suppressing it, it's just you're just in your power and you're not going to go back there. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm really excited to see what's to come.
Yes.
Yeah, but I know that it will. I
Yeah.
just know. You just know.
Absolutely.
You don't yeah.
Exactly. Yep. And that's what the people say in the testimonials say. I just know. I just know.
Yeah,
And there, you're part of it. You're part of it. So
I am.
thank you
I'm
so
living
much.
proof.
Exactly. Right. And I know that you're going to touch so many lives with this
Definitely.
short testimonial as well. But I know I'm going to sit down with you once again when that money drops in.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, it's already there.
Exactly.
It's in my
Exactly.
field.
It's on
So
its way. It's life is rearranging to match your
absolutely.
frequency.
Absolutely, it definitely is, and
Yeah.
so is my body. Like, obviously, as I said in the beginning, I thought healing happened instantly, and that meant your
Mm,
body changes instantly.
mm,
Sometimes it will, and if it
hmm
doesn't, that's okay as well, because sometimes your body has lots of old programs that it needs to let go
mm,
of. So, I do want to say that as well, because I think sometimes if you do come from a background where you are quite sick,
mm,
um, sometimes if you have that belief that healing has to happen instantly
hmm
and it doesn't, like it can leave you with a lot of doubt. But know that when you do change your frequency and like your identity, your body has no choice. And that's
mm,
what's happening right now for me. Like,
mm.
that's why those physical sensations are coming up because my body's like, okay, well, we've got to let it go. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So
Your
just
body doesn't
know
want to hold it. Yeah.
doesn't want to hold it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So if it doesn't happen instantly, it's going to happen. Just
Absolutely.
just trust. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, because a lot of people have been reaching me in regards to health. I talk about a lot of abundance, but you are the epitome of that. And I know that you're going to blaze a trail with other people, you sharing your story and people wanting to work with me when it comes to healing as well.
You're
Um,
very welcome. I wouldn't be
thank
here
you.
without you. So,
Thank you. Thank you. But this is you're literally the living example of this as well. And yeah, you're going to be a great inspiration to others, and your little bubbly right there.
yeah, I know.
Well, thank you. Any last words you want to say to the audience?
There's no doubt in my mind that I think if you want to do this work and you're ready to change, you call this rapid transformation. And I remember when I was like, a couple of days ago when I'm having all these like jerks and things like that, I'm like, well, Kev calls this rapid transformation, and this is literally what's happening. So
Of course.
if you do want rapid transformation, then Kev's your man, really. Like this is the way to go because, for so long I was doing Dr. Joe's work, probably a year before I met Kev, and little things shifted, but nothing like this. And it's good because reaching out to you, I've realized so much too, but you've got support there. And I
Mm,
think that's the thing when you try and go at this by yourself and alone, there's so much room for confusion. So I
exactly.
think getting yourself a coach, if you really want rapid transformation, um then yeah, yeah, I think it's the best option. I do. So thank you.